Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to talk about Bronco Raptor parts, specifically a rear diff skid from Differential Motorsports. Now, I've probably had this for about a month. It's just been sitting in the box on the floor of my garage, which is not a good place for it because in the meantime, I've also been off-roading and I have scraped the rear differential. So do this before you go off-roading, and then you won't damage some of the stuff that you were trying to protect in the first place. Anyway, let's weigh it. I'll show you a little bit of install. This thing is really beefy. There were two different options. I had considered Fouts Motorsports makes a differential as well, a cover. The one big difference that I liked is the Differential Motorsports. This section here tends to go further up the differential a little bit where it connects into the drive shaft, so it seemingly offers a little more protection, and that's what I really liked. So like I said, weigh it, put it together, show you what it's like, and give you my thoughts. Okay, so I already threw it on the scale, 24.75 pounds. Like I said, it's pretty beefy, but it should be if it's going to protect the differential from rocks. So we'll bring the Bronco Raptor in. I'll show you what I damaged so far, and then we'll throw it on. Before we get too far, I just wanted to show how this came packaged. There's a little trail card here, but it's a powder coated skid plate, but they filled this thing with foam, and it is packed in here, so it is absolutely not going to get damaged in shipping. And I just really like that. It also has like a little parts card right here. Exceptional job. All right, so now we're under the Bronco. Get a look at the rear. One of the reasons why I want to protect this thing is because it's aluminum, and aluminum basically just chunks away instead of slides. So you can see here, I came down on a rock, and it basically just shaved a section of all of this away, and the bolt is a little bit damaged here too. So this all would have been protected, and I just had that dang skid plate on there. Wanted to measure the distance underneath the skid for ground clearance real quick to see what the difference is, and we'll put it on. All right, let's measure the ground clearance. So about the lowest spot is 10 5/8 inch. So see how much that takes away when we add the skid plate. All right, Differential actually has a really good video that you should just watch for install, but you have to take out these 7 bolts. So I'll just do that real quick and get it installed. Man, these are in there. Can't quite tell if they have Loctite on them. They might. There's a little bit different color. So I might put some Loctite on the new ones that I put in. Be the trick just to hang it up here a little with these bolts and then go into the other side. Oh, their video makes it look so much more easy on a car lift. Oh, I can't reach my arms. Oh. Probably do Loctite on all of these actually. I totally torque them down. That's pretty sweet though. What I do like is all the holes. They're a little bit oblong, so you can shift it around a little bit if you need to. All right, one thing to know on the Bronco Raptor is the gas tank is right here. And I have tried and I cannot get this final bolt to go up there. So I think I'm gonna have to jack up the body and droop out the differential to get that in there. Harbor Freight Badlands and a hitch skid for the win. All right, now there's enough clearance for me to get this last bolt in here. All right, it's installed. Don't forget to torque everything down, but man, this thing is sweet. Let's look at the passenger side. The only thing I'm maybe worried about is those bolts rubbing, because this is pretty close in between here. Might get a finger in through here. See if I can show you right here. This is close. I wonder if under articulation if that'll rub at all. Hopefully it'll be all right. So this is a section here that I really like about the Next Venture Motorsports skid plate. It extends a little farther forward, covering all the bolts that connect the drive shaft to the differential, giving a little more ramped surface right here, which I really liked. All right, so let's measure the difference, how much ground clearance we lost. And this is the lowest point right here, and it's just about 10 inches. So we lost 5/8 of an inch, which really is not too bad, especially for all the added benefits of the protection. Well, I planned on wrapping up this video by showing you just a little bit of off-road footage. I had attached a GoPro back to the hitch here and just was going to show an example like this footage right here. The problem is, while I was off-roading, I could hear a clunk, and a metal on metal clunk means something's rubbing. So now back in the garage, and I'm going to jack it up and see. It's probably the gas tank skid. I think those bolts are actually contacting the gas tank skid. So I'm going to jack it up and we'll see. All right, here we are. Some of the powder coat is chipped off here. There's a little metal shaving, and then there's some shavings on this bolt here. So it's definitely rubbing. See if I can get a better angle underneath here. All right, here we are. Here's the gas tank. The good news is that it's self-clearanced out of the way. It definitely has dented this in right here, and it's rubbed. And then this little plastic cover right here is also getting scraped, but other than it being a little bit annoying, I probably would have just had to clearance this out anyway, and it's not touching the skid plate or the gas tank itself, so there's still a little bit of room there. I can kind of get my finger back behind there. So it's not damaging anything other than skid plate. I might like grind this down or knock it back a little bit further, but that's good to know. Just so you know, that's going to self-clearance if you don't move that yourself. All right, so here we're back outside with the Bronco. I actually built these articulation ramps to do some other videos, but they're going to work here now too, because I want to show you underneath where this actually is contacting and what it looks like flexed out. So we'll come in here and take a look. All right, so here's the skid plate and the bolt again. It's definitely contacting when the right side goes up. What's interesting from the video though is when the left tire was tucked, it was also making a clank, so I'm curious if anything else is hitting. All right, left side tire tucked. All right, here's the driver's side, left side. There's nothing that it's hitting over here, so it must have just been when it was coming down on this side a little bit too. All right, so final thoughts. It's a very well-built product, and I like it how it initially fit. I think it's kind of a bummer that it self-clearances your gas tank if you weren't expecting that. And unfortunately, none of the instructions online show anything Raptor specific that I could find. So it's just a little bit disappointing. You know, would I buy it again? Maybe. I might also try the other one because that one probably doesn't have to self-clearance off the gas tank. So really, it's up to you what you want to do. It's a little disappointing that the brand new product that I have doesn't fit quite right, but I kind of feel like that's, with just about everything off-road, it's like 95% perfect and 5% WTF. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll continue to make more videos on the Bronco Raptor. I have a few more skid plates to add, so look for those videos. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.